Well, hey folks, don't want to inundate you with videos the first week, but there are a couple of things that are really important that you need to hear directly from me and maybe even see an example of to do it right. This one is related to the discussion boards. Before we get into the settings that I want you to set up, I want you to look at the rubric real quick. As I mentioned in the syllabus video, 5 things I'm looking for, the first of each of which is worth up to 3 points. The first one is when you make your first post. You'll get 3 out of 3 if you make your first post on Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday. That's going to be challenging because you'll have access to the talking points and the articles on Sunday morning as soon as you wake up. I'm going to load them on Saturday so that they're available at 1 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. So I would suggest in a normal week, when you get logged in the first time, hopefully Sunday, maybe Monday at the very latest, that you immediately go to the talking points. In most weeks, it's going to be a file, a Word file. You'll scroll down the instructions of the discussion board and it'll say for this to see this talking points, click here, and you click on the word here and it'll open up the file for you to read. Read through those talking points and get an idea about the background of the topic. Then go back to the discussion, the instructions page, and click on each one of the links for the articles that they have given you to read and go read them one at a time. As you do that, make some notes, maybe even print out the talking points. Make some notes as you're reading the articles of interesting things or questions that you have that you can reference in your discussion post. And then by Tuesday night at 11:59 p.m., I want you to have made your initial post. Now I've set the discussion boards to where the everybody else's don't even show up until you've made your first post. So I've blocked everything until you've made a post, and suddenly everything else is open. So you might log out there on Tuesday afternoon and go, gosh, I'm the first one to post. Probably not. It's because you haven't made your post, you haven't seen everything else. Now that becomes an issue with the leadership team. If you're on the leadership team for the week, you're going to want to go in Sunday and post something like, hey, I'm on the leadership team, enter, submit. That gets your first post out of the way so that you can see things as other people submit. But back to this. If you post your initial post of 150 to 200 words by Tuesday night at 11:59 p.m., you'll get 3 points out of 3. If you wait until Wednesday or Thursday to make your first post of the week, you'll lose one of those points. If you wait till Friday, you've lost 2 of those points. If you don't make a post at all, or if you make it on Saturday or perhaps even Sunday, you'll have access to everybody else, but you won't get any points for the initial one. So the first thing is the initial post. The second thing is the number of posts that you make for the week. If you're not in the leadership team that week, I expect 4 posts. If you're in the leadership team, I expect a greater level of participation than if you're not. So if you make 4 or more good posts, so let's say you make 3 good posts and one of them is like, hey, I agree with you, or hey, that was funny, that's not a good post. So you'd get credit for 3, not 4. If you make 4 good posts, your initial one and 3 others, you'll get 3 points out of 3. If you make 3 good posts, it's 2. If you make 2 good posts, it's 1. And if you make 1 good post or no posts, it's 0. Third thing is what I call spacing. I don't want you logging in and making every post the same day, and certainly not logging in and making 4 posts within 10 minutes and thinking you're done. If you post on 3 or more different days, you'll get all 3 points. If you only post on 2 days, let's say you go in and you make all of your posts on Wednesday and Thursday. Well, you've posted on 2 days and you've made 4 posts, but you don't meet the spirit of the law by posting regularly throughout the week. 1 point if you post on 1 day, no points for no days. Then the content. Do you make quality posts on 3 or more people? So you might make 4 posts, but they're not quality, and you'd lose a point probably in both places. 3 posts or more, 2 or more people, 1 or more people, whatever. And then reading. Now the rest of this video is going to be talking about how you get credit for reading these things. If you have not read at least 90% of the posts for the week, you're not getting full credit for this discussion board. So 90% or more is full, 85 to 90 is 2 points, 80 to 85 is 1 point, and if you read less than 80% of the posts, you don't get any credit for having read, even if you've read 79.9. Now, with that in mind, how do you make sure that you get credit for reading posts? It doesn't happen automatically. You've got to have some settings right, and you've got to take something into account. Let's say that you're on our class page right now. What you want to do to get the settings right is first click on the GSW homepage icon. That takes you back to your main login screen. Then you want to go up and click on your profile picture, and the option that you're looking for is the account settings. A couple of things within this panel. On the account settings tab, I want you to make sure that the font size is set on medium. If it's on small, it's really hard for me to read your discussion post. So make it medium, and then look down here and make sure that under reading content, this box that says do not automatically mark items as read as the page scrolls, make sure that there is no check mark there. No check mark whatsoever. If there's a check mark, you have to force the computer to see it as read. If there is no check mark, given certain circumstances, it'll mark it read for you, so you don't have to do anything manually, right? So those two things on the first page. First thing is the size of the font, and the second thing is don't automatically mark them, turn that off. The second thing I want you to do is go to the discussions panel and look down here to the reply settings. Include original post in reply. Make sure that that is not checked. What that means is that normally if that is checked, their post is up here and then you post on that. When somebody looks at your post, they're going to see your post and then the original post. So as you're scrolling through that, you have to scroll farther to read something that you've already read. By leaving that unchecked, it's only going to have yours, but the other post that you're replying to is right above yours, so it works. All right, so make sure on discussions that that is not checked. On account settings, make sure that that is medium and that that is not checked. Now, with that in mind, what you're going to do when you go to read discussions, I'm going to have to pull up a discussion from a prior semester because there are no discussion posts to show you right now. But let's say from a prior semester that we've got a topic out here on ethics, okay? And when you come in here and you look at the discussion posts, when you first open this up, there's a blue bar here that runs vertically on the screen. And it will be blue until the computer has the entire post out here for like 3 seconds. So if it's a long post, you may have to scroll down to get to the bottom of the post. When I first opened this up, it would be able to see the entire post here, the entire post here, and the entire post here, but it can't see the entire post here. So in a matter of about 3 seconds, the blue line here, and the blue line here, and the blue line here would all go away, and the computer would recognize those 3 posts as having been read. But this one, until I've scrolled down to where I can see the bottom, which would include the original post if you didn't check that box about do not include, that one would not turn blue until after I'd scrolled down and been on there about 3 seconds. So the short version here is I'm getting ready to go into another meeting that you're looking for to get credit for reading the post. You've got to have the post on your screen to where you can see the bottom of the post, and it's got to be there for like 3 seconds for that blue line to go away. It's the blue line going away that tells me that you've read it and that marks it in the computer scoring system as having been read. All right, watch this video a couple of times, experiment with these settings until you know for sure what it is that you're looking for, and then when you've gotten it, hopefully everything will work smoothly with your discussion boards. And if you get your first grade back and it says you haven't read all the posts, go back and watch this video again because something didn't work right. I don't know that I'm going to be really interested in going back and adjusting your grade because you said you read them all, but it didn't record them. Since I've got this video out here, you know how to set it to where it'll work. That's all for now. I hope that that makes sense and that you're ready for the discussion boards and that you'll be able to get the 15 points each week that you're looking for. If you have questions, post to the Ask Dr. Grimes discussion board in our class or send me an email or text. Okay? Hope you're doing good on the discussions week, getting started, and you're finding it interesting.